automatic beeper.
You mean YouTube?
Hi, I'm Kai. I'm going to present solid linings. This is what I do. The first two guitars I did with a solid lining like this. This is what I did myself. I kind of saw in a picture an old guitar what I actually had in the back, the solid lining. And traditionally, the reason for this lining, I don't know really what it is, because in the old loads, you don't actually have them. The top is glued directly on the side, and the sides and the top is actually finer thickness than actually the normal acoustic guitars. So, but actually, it's a reason for it, because if you put the binding around, it will actually stop the moisture going into the end grain of your top wood. So this is basically a moisture block to allow. And then it's also the decoration. So if you put the decoration on the edge of your guitar, so let's see here. So this is your side. Then you glue your top on top here, right? And if you're going to do the decoration here, something disappears here, right? So you need to reinforce it somehow. The standard stuff you buy is basically about 6 millimeter times 12 to 15 millimeters. That's the dimensions, and I've been thinking about that. So because if your binding here is not so big, why do we have to go so deep down? It's also the thing that if you have it just to making a very big one, this is a heavy, that will actually stop your top from vibrating. So if you can make it smaller inlay or curving, your top will be more free to vibrate. So this is my thinking about it. When you make a lot of inlays here, with this top will be actually very smaller, and that will actually vibrate around that corner. That's what you do in a violin. If you look at the violin, it's the same thing here. You have your side, you have a solid lining, you put your top on top here, goes like this, and then you have your groove here, right? And that is actually your hinge. And that's what makes it can vibrate easier. So that's an important part of a violin.
The purfling part, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually what's happening, if you don't play the violin, the glue actually gets stuck, so you need actually to play it to loosen up. So I started with that, and evolution was actually, I started with Black Locust because I have a lot of it. And I started with doing a special jig here, and I tried to glue it on. And this is a 4 laminate, and actually I hand bent them. And then I went to the 3 laminate, and I used a router bit to run off the edges. So this is a 3 laminate. And this is more or less how I do them today. It's a 2 laminate. And I do them in pairs. Of course, I'm actually doing the top. This is actually a guitar I've been working on for over a year, because I had it in a window and actually got a suntan. This is East Indian rosewood. I need to set it down, and you see here. So anyhow, lack of motivation, but I will finish it someday. So here I actually been scraping this to be even smaller. So I've been actually going on this Guinness diet cure to remove as much weight as possible. And yeah, we can send this one as well.
So are you going for a specific weight on your guitar there, Kyle?
I think the less weight is good.
Right, but are you going for a specific weight? Are you, in other words, are you going to go for, 64 grams?
I don't know yet. I haven't measured the weight, the total weight of it.
Because I mean, I know that they do that for violins and other specific instruments,
Yeah.
that you want to have a weight within a certain
And I think
volume.
it's a good way to do that,
Yeah.
because it means quality control as well. You know that you have done enough. So this is the way how I do it today.
Ryan, what are you using for the glue?
For the
What glue are you using?
tight bond.
Type on that.
So I bend my sides on a side bender. This is how I did it traditionally. This is, yeah, one at a time. I took the side bender if someone has not seen a side bender before.
What's a side bender?
So this is my small one, but this is my bending jig. This is the tip I got from Abe. The thing in the middle there makes a lot of difference.
Cool.
And it just lands to heat up. So I started to bend my sides, and then I was making my linings. Today I'm actually first starting to doing my linings, because I figure out that actually when I'm done and I'm letting things to dry out, I use actually these for actually keeping them in the shape. So I don't really have to go through, so I can actually bend my sides and I can let them sit there for 2 months without any problems. So I bend them here. I have strips here actually. So I actually sewing them up, sanding them down, and this little bit more fancier stuff what I'm doing today is actually to even more reducing weight. Is actually I'm using basswood or poplar. That's my inner layer, and a little bit heavier contrasting wood to my inside. So actually when you look in a guitar, which everyone does, I don't know why, and I'm slicing these in my bandsaw. I'm taking them down, I'm slicing just in the middle, and then I'm putting them together through my thickness sander, and I'm sanding them down to about 12 millimeter height. So I'm actually putting in a thickness sander like this, and then I'm just let it going through. When it's kind of going through the machine like this, so I'm actually kind of slowly working it through, and it works. I mean,
Wow.
So
Didn't grab it and chunk it out or nothing? Huh?
no, it's.
So what are you working on your final thickness for your,
I'm working about on the top 4 millimeter and 5 millimeter on the bottom, the thickness, and about 12 millimeter the height.
and height?
It depends on the guitar. I'm kind of working myself to less and less. And when I'm bending my stuff, I'm just bending it, putting my thing, and waiting for this to be warm enough. And when I can't put my hands on, that's when I'm clamping down my middle piece here, top, and then I let it be. The next morning, I take my pieces and I'm basically strapping them down with clamps into my mold, and then I'm clamping them like this, so it's kind of folded, sitting there in the mold and drying out. Because if you glue with a tight bond when it's wet, it doesn't work. I'll try that. So this is the lining. So I let them sitting there for about a week. After a week, I'm actually using this, which represents about the thickness of my sides. I have taped both sides,